Human rights have always been a core principle of American democracy, and certain U.S. senators have dedicated their careers to championing these values. Through legislation, advocacy, and public service, these senators have worked to promote equality, justice, and freedom for all. Here are the top 10 U.S. senators who have advocated for human rights the most. 1. Ted Kennedy, Massachusetts. Known as the Lion of the Senate, Kennedy was a tireless advocate for civil rights, healthcare reform, and education. His work on the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and immigration reform, along with his efforts to promote equality, made him one of the Senate's strongest voices for human rights. 2. John McCain, Arizona. McCain, a former POW, was a fierce advocate against torture and human rights abuses. He worked to reform military practices and co-authored the Detainee Treatment Act, which aimed to end the use of torture in U.S. military interrogations, solidifying his legacy as a defender of human dignity. 3. Bernie Sanders, Vermont. Sanders has long championed issues of economic justice, universal health care, and income inequality, viewing these as human rights. His advocacy for Medicare for all, fair wages, and climate justice demonstrates his commitment to ensuring a better quality of life for all citizens. 4. Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts. Warren's focus on consumer protection and economic fairness highlights her commitment to human rights. She has worked to hold corporations accountable, reduce student debt, and protect workers' rights, ensuring economic justice remains at the forefront of policy debates. 5. Kamala Harris, California. Before becoming vice president, Harris was a vocal advocate for criminal justice reform, immigration rights, and voting rights as a senator. Her work has focused on ending mass incarceration, defending immigrant families, and promoting racial justice, solidifying her as a leader in human rights advocacy. 6. Cory Booker, New Jersey. Booker's work in the Senate has focused on criminal justice reform, environmental justice, and racial equality. He co-sponsored the First Step Act, which aimed to reduce prison sentences and improve conditions for incarcerated individuals, marking a significant victory for human rights reform. 7. Patrick Leahy, Vermont. Leahy has been a longtime advocate for civil liberties and international human rights. As chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee, he worked to block U.S. military aid to countries with poor human rights records and has fought for justice for marginalized communities worldwide. 8. Barbara Boxer, California. Boxer was a leading voice on women's rights, environmental protection, and LGBTQ+ rights. She advocated for marriage equality, reproductive rights, and environmental justice, leaving a legacy of fighting for vulnerable communities and standing up for human rights. 9. Dick Durbin, Illinois. Durbin has consistently advocated for immigrant rights and DACA protections. He played a crucial role in the creation of the DREAM Act and has been an outspoken advocate for refugee rights and protections, demonstrating his commitment to human rights for marginalized populations. 10. Paul Wellstone, Minnesota. Wellstone was a progressive champion of labor rights, mental health parity, and social justice issues. His work to protect workers' rights, improve mental health care, and fight for economic equality earned him a reputation as a steadfast advocate for human rights throughout his career. These senators have left a lasting impact on the fight for human rights, whether through reforms in criminal justice, healthcare, immigration, or economic justice. Their dedication continues to inspire movements for equality and fairness in the U.S. and beyond.